Hello, I'm Anand Naidu in Washington. The main story is brought to you by Al Jazeera. Former Iraqi Prime Minister Iyad Allawi's coalition has won his country's parliamentary election by a slim margin. In preliminary results, Allawi's alliance beat current Prime Minister Nouri al-Maliki's bloc by just 2 seats. But Maliki has said he won't accept the results because they're just preliminary. Al Jazeera's Anita McNaught is in Baghdad.
But we also saw a very tense, a very terse Prime Minister Maliki, surrounded by his supporters, surrounded by his people from the Dawa party, making a very stern, perhaps ominous statement about what he felt was still unacceptable in this election process.
2 Israeli soldiers and at least 1 Palestinian have reportedly been killed in clashes between Israeli forces and Hamas fighters in Gaza. Hamas says it was responding to an Israeli army incursion into Gaza. The Israeli army, on the other hand, said it launched the operation after seeing Palestinians planting explosives near the border fence. The world's 2 largest nuclear powers have agreed for the first time in nearly 2 decades to a new nuclear arms reduction treaty. The deal between the United States and Russia will reduce the 2 countries' nuclear arsenals by 1/3 over the next 10 years. Negotiations took nearly a year and dragged on more than 3 months after the last treaty expired. The treaty still has to be ratified by the US Senate and Russian Parliament. And as Patty Colhane reports, it will be a tough sell to some members of Congress.
It may be politically tough for them to try to kill this treaty because if you look back at past treaties, Republican presidents have actually made bigger cuts. So politically that might be tough, but you have to keep in mind right now in Washington, the atmosphere is fairly toxic after that health care debate. But when it comes to treaties, it usually takes months. It can take as much as a year for anything like this to get through the Senate. So you never really know. It might be by that time that things have cooled off in Washington because, like I said, right now, it's pretty ugly on Capitol Hill.
Around 40 sailors are still missing after a South Korean naval vessel sank near the North Korean border. An unexplained explosion reportedly tore into the vessel's hull while it was on a routine patrol with 104 crew members on board. There's been no indication that North Korea has anything to do with the ship sinking. And those are our top stories. Don't forget you can keep up to date with all the news on our website at aljazeera.net/English.